still chasing fire through the years half slow. Weights on my back, sweat in my eyes. Old man's fight never says die. Old man on the mat, still standing tall. One more round, yeah, I've heard it all. Grip the edge, don't let it slip. Strength in the soul, strength in the grip.
Hey, Old Man on the Mat crew, this is Tony Jones coming up to another great episode of Old Man on the Mat. Guys, I am stoked as usual. Yeah, I'm not going to get into that again, but I am always fired up. I got this guy, a fellow podcaster on here. This guy is what I consider one of the baddest dudes out there. Why? Because the name of his podcast is Bourbon and Ballistics. And I know a lot of you guys love those things. This guy's been out there for a while, and he's out there, owns, First Line Ballistics? That's good stuff, man. That's good stuff. But, hey, let's get to know this guy as we go on. With that, I give you Joel Potter. How you doing, big dog?
Doing just fine. How you doing, Tony?
Still alive and kicking.
Looking good, brother. Looking good, as always.
Right? Everyone says that when I never tell my age, but when I tell people my age, they're like, "Oh my God, you're way younger than that." You know, because I say black doesn't crack, but it does swell. So I started getting swell on you, but but man, how'd you come up with that title? I love it. I was talking a second ago about behind you, all those classic bourbons and whiskeys and good stuff, man. Real quick before I jump into you, as you can tell, I talk a lot, but right above you is High West, and I never tried that until it was literally 5 years ago. Well, 4.5 years ago. I was in the grocery store. I was looking for something. I was looking for a wine. And I said, well, I can't find the wine I want, so let me find this bourbon. I was going through this aisle, and this young lady, of course, she was pretty, so I stopped. She said, excuse me, and I was like, yes, And so she's telling me, I see you looking for, are you looking for a bourbon or a whiskey? I said, they're the same. I said, it doesn't matter. And then she showed me that and said, me and my brother drinks this all the time. And I said, you and your brother is not your boyfriend, I didn't say, that was too much of a coward. But she turned me onto that whiskey, and I loved it, man, since then, man. But it's really good. It's very inexpensive, too, so I like that part, too, man.
That's right. That's the best part about it.
Yeah. So anyway, enough about me. Let's jump into this, man. So how'd you get on this journey with Bourbon and Ballistics, man?
So the story really starts, and before the backstory is such, it's a long story, but I'll try to keep it kind of smooth for the show. I own a steel target company.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a partner in a steel target company, First Line Ballistics.
Yeah.
And so when we started the target company, social media obviously has its problems with the firearms industry.
Yeah.
And Target's being no exception. So essentially every single time we try to run an ad, we try to do some sort of promotion, we were getting shadow banned on almost all of it.
Wow.
And so it was to the point where we were throwing our hands in the air trying to figure out how do we get our name out there. We've created these targets that are completely compact and we can ship them all over the country.
Nice.
But nobody can see them. And so the first idea was, we'll just try to come up with some sort of backdoor way to do it. And my idea with that was starting a podcast and promoting the target company from within there. So that's kind of how we got the start. And then it's kind of evolved into something completely different after that.
Yeah.
But that was the intent, was to be able to promote the target company.
Okay. Nice, man.
And I like whiskey.
And you like whiskey, man.
Yeah.
That's
good. It was meant to be. Yeah.
It was meant to be. But, that's pretty cool, though. You got around the bots. That's, do what you got to do, man. But I think that's really funny how they'll shadow ban you for ballistic things, for guns and whatever. But whiskey and drugs and whatever, hey, get it on out there. Everybody can have fun with it. You know what I mean? Put it everywhere. Yeah. Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's even the whiskey side of it's been interesting too. I mean, some of the platforms, depending on if I'm actually showcasing a bottle, Vanna Whiting it, they'll ban it. And,
wow.
It'll be promotion of alcohol. But then we're at a point now that there's, over 1 million podcasts, I think Joe Rogan was saying.
Yeah.
And a lot of those have to do with, cigars and whiskey and firearms. And so how are they doing it and how am I not able to was one of the wildest questions.
Man, I have to look at that too. And I think do they have just deeper pockets? You know what I mean? And just going to pay for all this stuff? Because, trying to get organic growth out there, as you probably know too, it's hard. It's tough. And especially in your industry, liquor and, and cigars, or, yeah, and guns and stuff.
Yeah.
It's tough. It really is tough, man. Now, when you first started doing that, after you guys found out how we're going to get past this, did you take a different avenue, or what did you do to like up everything? And without giving you secrets, because if you have some secrets that's going to help you grow above somebody else in that same arena, don't throw it out there.
Yeah, it unfortunately didn't really yield much greater results.
Okay.
We were the target company, so. It's been a struggle ever since we started the company in 2019, right before COVID.
Yeah.
And pretty much after we launched the company, like right when we did, COVID hit, steel prices went through the roof and they haven't really recovered. So the it's not very conducive for us, especially right now on the shipping costs. Our targets come in. The idea is we created this target system, a full system, stand poles and the target itself.
Okay.
It fits into a 24-inch rifle bag.
Oh, nice.
And so. Yeah, so we can ship that. The USPS used to have these boxes. They were called game board boxes, and we built the target around these game board boxes.
Oh, smart.
And so we could ship these things flat rate, no matter where we wanted to ship them, all over the country for that flat rate price. And it was awesome. The things were like 65 pounds, and the USPS hated us big time. But we were doing it. Well, they realized that there's no money in us sending 70-pound boxes across the country.
Yeah.
And so they got rid of the boxes. So it's been a struggle ever since.
Man.
We're still trying to figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's got to suck, though, because it's a part of America, man. Guns and all that stuff. And I don't know, man. And I get to a certain point why they try to, I don't. But then again, they're saying, we got video games of nothing but shooting, and then all the movies of nothing but shooting, and everyone's a gun or anything to do with a gun. We got to shadow ban that. We got to hold that back. That's crazy, man. So when did you?
It's unfortunate. Yeah, I mean, I'm not shooting the guns. I'm not selling the guns. I'm just shooting something that that you're shooting.
Exactly, but it's got shooting on there. You know what I mean? It's got a target.
Yeah.
It's insane, man. But I commend you for doing it, man. I really do commend you for it's a guy out there. I don't know if I'm sure you probably heard it. You're in the industry. So Coleon Noir. He owns the Pew Pew Life.
Of course.
And man, I've seen him for years. I followed him before he got even big, before he was whatever. And I used to think that way back then, just, that's pretty cool. But he's talking about guns. How is he growing? This before we even started about doing this stuff. And he's huge. He got over 1 million followers. The guy's huge. And guns, I'm like, how did you do that? That's amazing, man.
Yeah, I was just having a conversation with a guy. I recorded an episode last night, and the guy that I was interviewing owns a firearm shop, and talking about how difficult it is to promote businesses on social media that have to deal with firearms industry. It's pretty wild, and it's weird because some people have cracked the code somehow, and there's a certain numerical precedent set to get there, monetary value that you have to establish to make it work. And a lot of us, I mean, on the smaller side of things, just don't have the funds to go spend $2,000 on an ad and hope it performs enough to really get the ROI.
Right. I felt the same way jumping in this game. You've been in since when did you start your podcast?
Mid 2023. So it's only been a couple of years.
Oh, that's good. That's about roughly, I think end of 2023, beginning of 24 kind of thing. I jumped in here and I just thought, I have a voice and I think people need to hear what's going on. And it wasn't just mine, but it was my target, getting guys like yourself, because everyone's got a story and not these big name guys. Oh, nothing's wrong with those guys, but everyone knows big name guys, but everyone had to start somewhere. Right. So I said, well, let me jump out there and start talking to some of these guys. And man, I was shocked as hard as it is to make these things grow, man. It's insane. It's like, if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, you think you're just going to be Joe Rogan or Theo Vaughn overnight. It's just going to be fine. It's wild.
It's wild, man. But
now, let me ask you before. I want to talk to you because I think that you and I have a very similar starting point, because I noticed, when I first started listening to your podcast, which has been fantastic. The journey's been amazing, by the way.
Brother.
I watch you grow. Every single episode is freaking awesome.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that, brother. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
I see that, like, you kind of have this, maybe a similar idea, like, coming into it. Go old man on the mat. We're going to talk about, this particular subject, and then you maybe do a couple episodes and you go, this is going to be a lot of legwork to start trying to fill this podcast every episode with someone in martial arts.
Yeah.
And you go, there's a lot of other cool stories out there as well. And you do really well at keeping those kind of guests on your show. But like the episodes with Jen Esp have been,
oh man,
so she is amazing. I think everybody says that.
No, you're right. She's awesome, and I appreciate you catching that, man. You're a fan. I like that, man. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for that. And you're right. I looked at the atmosphere. Everybody's out there doing martial arts, and nothing's wrong with that. That's been since I'm 8 years old doing martial arts. I love it. But there's other people out there that I think their story needs to be heard. People that's trying to get people fit, because we're all trying to be healthy. People that are in bourbon, whiskey. We all like that. I don't know about you, but yeah, right. We all like those things. I just figure I could talk to anyone that's just out there just trying to do something positive. And once I did that, I started getting more people to talk to and things like that. And hopefully it continues to grow, man. I really do. I appreciate you.
Yeah, and I think that was the same kind of the idea. With me, I was like, I'm going to just sit down with firearms instructors and military dudes, and it's going to be awesome. And our town is relatively small. We're about 50,000 people.
Oh yeah, that's small. Yeah.
And so I got having the target company was a great base for us to have a good amount of people to talk to.
Yeah.
But eventually that pool is going to shrivel. It's going to go dry, and so I'm going to start reaching out, right?
Yeah.
So, but then, like you just said, you have. Everybody's got a cool story. Yeah. And it was so much more than just trying to talk about whiskey and guns.
Yeah.
And then it was like, let's talk about anything, getting authors on the show or real estate or something like that. Right?
Yeah.
Everybody's got something really cool, some cool story to tell. So
you're right.
I applaud you for that.
Thanks, my friend. I appreciate that, man. I ain't got a black man blushing over here. Can you see? Can you see? No, well, I used to say, can you see? Can you see? And yes, I got a warped sense of humor, man. Did I tell you? This girl that we're saying, not kind of, we are saying each other, and it's funny because I always have to ask her, what joke can I tell to, certain family members of her? Because I don't want to offend anybody. I really don't. They're cool people. And I'm just like, I'll say something and they'll text me something and it'll be like, oh, I got a good one for that. And I'll start texting and I'll say, wait. Should I send that? She said, do not send that. Do not send that.
Abort.
Yeah, and I'm like, I was so close to send. Oh, man. Yeah. Having a good sense of humor. As you know, man, you like to smile. I love the beard, man. You have a happy face, man. That's good stuff, man. Yeah. That beard needs to be a movie.
Life's too short, brother. No, thank you.
That's right, man.
Now, I also want to say, so I sent you a care package. And before we get any farther, I think it would be a great time for you to dig into that thing.
All right, man. Hey.
Because it'll be part of the conversation.
All right, my brother. It's Christmas early.
That was a fun adventure in itself, trying to get that thing out. I sent you a snow globe. As far as the Postal Service is concerned.
I know. Oh, man. Let's see what we got, brother. I love gifts, man. I'm telling you. Every time we get Amazon packages, I'm like, let me open it. Target cards? Yes, sir. I'm going to show everything. I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to show everything. These are cards, and I'm going to post it all up, too. Oh, crap, man. I'm going to put this down here for a sec. All right. Everybody out there in the audience, talk amongst yourselves until I get this.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
There should be one more thing in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That's the important part.
Hey, brother. I'm always looking in there, man.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
And so while you're doing that, the reason, so on my show, what I really tried to do when I first started out, I was just trying a whiskey I'd never tried before. And then as things have kind of progressed,
look at that.
I started trying to tailor or try to do some research and find a bottle that I felt fitting or like really tied into the guest itself.
Yeah.
And so I went on a mission on this one, and I thought it'd just be kind of a fun deal to get you something to sip on while, and hopefully you can right now. Hopefully it's a good time for you.
I can, and I will. Wait, if I couldn't, I still would. What is it, man? Let me crack it open. You gonna sip with me, man?
All right. Yes, sir.
All right, brother.
So what we got is the rare stash.
Okay.
And you're gonna, and I don't know if you've had that before.
No, I've never had that one.
Okay. So this is the rare stash batch number 2, and it's created by Dustin Poirier.
Oh, okay.
And he launched it to celebrate Yeah, he launched to celebrate life's rare moments, and I think this is one of those. And every bottle that he sells, a portion of it goes to his Good Fight Foundation. I'm not sure you're familiar with that.
No, I am not, but that's awesome, man.
Yeah, so he just basically takes that and he puts the money into families in need, kids, children that need help and all that. So I figured, better cause than this?
Oh man.
Yeah, it's a 45.5% and it's got great color. It's number
Oh
4.
yeah.
I know you're a Woodford guy,
Yes,
so I thought this
sir.
would be a good one for you.
Good
Yeah,
catch, brother.
yeah.
Cheers, my
Yes,
friend.
sir.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Ooh, that's good.
Not
That's
bad,
real
yeah.
good. I love the back end.
Mm-hmm.
Get the aroma.
Nice and sweet.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, my friend. I thank you so much. Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh man, you're a good man
Absolutely.
doing great things. I don't care what Google says. You're all right.
Appreciate you.
Oh man. I like this. I love the glass, man. Look at that, guys. Take a look at that. That is a
Thank you.
cool glass. Can you see the back end? Oh, how you do it like that? Yeah. See, there you go. Nice, brother. This is really nice. Oh man, that's good. Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Started my day right. Here we go.
There you go.
It's funny with this. I was in Tennessee here, and I do a lot of traveling around because right now, being semi-retired, my girl, she's a traveling medical worker. So every 90 days, she's somewhere else. So we decided to travel together. So I'm all the way over the place. Right now, I'm in Somerset, Kentucky, which is very close to Gatlinburg. So, and that's my heaven spot. Going to Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Love it, man.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to this nice little seafood restaurant. It's an upscale little place, if you can find an upscale place down there. But this is a really nice place. And the guy comes with a bottle of wine, what's called a white wine. So the guy cracks it open, and he sits the cap on the table, and he does the arm out, let you look at the label like we're in $1,000 plate. He pours a little bit in that glass. I sniff it and do like this, and I said to the guy, I said, "You gonna let me sniff the cap too?" He said, "Well, it's a twist off." I said, "But I thought we were supposed to be that kind of hoity-toity." he said, "If you want to sniff it, you can sniff it all you want, man." But it was just funny, man.
Absolutely, yeah.
Enjoy warp things like that, man.
That's fun.
But man, I tell you, I'm gonna talk your off, man, because you're a real cool guy to talk to, man. So we're gonna try to go back and forth, and I'm gonna try not to dominate this thing, man. But
That's perfect, yeah.
my buddy Vic and I, we go to cigar places in Waukegan, Illinois, and it's called the Cuban Experience. And so we say, let's do a podcast here, because I've been doing mine for a while. And he's like, let's do a podcast together here. And I was like, yeah, because you bring your own, BYOB in there and everything. And so we got the table lined up with all these, Johnny Walker Blues, just lined up. And man, we got maybe 10 minutes through this thing, and we're both just flying and puffing and flying. And we're like, I don't think this is good. You should have heard it. We played it afterwards. 2 drunk guys hanging out, man. It just nothing was accomplished.
That's one of the hardest parts about having liquor on the show is it gets away from you really quick.
Yeah.
When I first started, I learned the hard way.
Yeah.
I mean, it was we were going through way too much in an hour and a half, and the back end of the show was just complete garbage. And so I had to start trying to really figuring out timing the pours and trying to pace the guests because everyone gets really excited or nervous to start.
Yeah.
And they're just, they're full, first 2 ounces is gone within 10 minutes. It's like, oh my gosh, here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
I figured we'd do some drinking. So I pulled, what did I do? I bought 2 glasses here. I love, probably like yourself, love all my whiskey and everything neat, right? So I said, well, I'm drinking. Mm-hmm. I brought 2 glasses. Here's for the neat and one with ice. It depends on how long we're going to be going, man. I said, I got to put some ice in this thing. Yeah. I assumed we were going to be drinking. So I crack open my favorite, as you know, Woodford Reserves, double oaked. Oh man, brought it just so we can go, but thank God you got this. So I'm gonna just take my time sipping this.
Absolutely. Now, have you ever got into the double oaked Woodford?
No, I have not. I've seen it though, and I was just it's just one of those things. Like, should I grab that? Is it really good?
It is hands to God, probably one of my favorite pours I've ever had.
Really?
It's out of my price point typically, but if I saw it, I would definitely try to buy it.
Wow.
If you see it.
Okay,
It's
okay. I might
fantastic.
want to grab one because we did the tour out here. We about in Kentucky, so we do the tour, and
Mhm.
they had the double, and I was like, man, do I want to grab that thing or not? But like you said, it was a little expensive, and I'm like, I don't want to get it. I don't know because if I'm not, it's not a rye though, right? If I remember correct.
Right, right,
Yeah,
yeah, right.
yeah. So yeah,
It's no, it's a bourbon, but it's so it's I'm trying to remember what it's finished in the second, or yeah, in the second go around when they re-oak it. But it's the color on this stuff, Tony, is I mean, it's well past amber. It's almost like a red. Like this right here, I don't know if you can see that very well, but I mean, it's
yeah,
got the same kind
yeah,
of just beautiful red to it.
yeah,
And it tastes just, I mean, just as good as it looks. I mean, it is fantastic. So, I mean, it would be one of those things where you're gonna pay, a good amount of money
yeah,
for it, and you're just gonna bring it out on special occasions probably,
yeah.
or to show it off a little bit, so one of those pours, or what I mean, make it last.
Yeah, right, right. It's like the what's that? The double oak rye. What was it? Is that the rye? Double oak. It was like it's like a $300 bottle. And
Yeah.
I didn't buy it. Of course, a friend of mine is one of my students in martial arts and stuff. He's the older guy, because old guys we get guys good gifts. Hello, old guys give good
Hmm.
gifts, and so he would get me a new bottle every year for my birthday, but a different kind. So he got me that, and I tell you, it's a rye, and I'm not a rye fan, and it was
Oh,
it
okay.
was just one of the you know it was one of those, I bring when my friends come over, I let them drink it because hi, expect you guys want some of this. I just couldn't drink it, but the other ones are really good. Just a rye, for whatever reason, it just doesn't sit well with me. How do you feel about ryes and everything?
Interesting. We have an opportunity here. We got a couple distilleries within like 50-mile radius of
Yeah,
us that I think the terroir of the area lends us to a better rye, I think, than a lot of places. I do have an Angel's Envy I got as a gift that's really
yeah,
good. But we have the Frey Ranch just down the road over here in
yeah.
Fallon, and their rye is probably one of the better ryes I've ever had
Okay,
for the price point.
gotcha,
It's I think it's a $60, $70 bottle.
gotcha.
But it's an easy drink.
Okay, not bad, man. Now, do
Yeah.
you drink anything other than bourbon? Do you do tequilas? Do you do gin? Do you any of those or no?
I dabble. I mean, I don't mind tequila.
Yeah,
We have friends that are really good tequila drinkers.
yeah,
Like they have a big, vast collection of tequilas, and I love going and doing that because it's going from like a Cuervo Gold.
yeah,
Just I remember being it's like so sick as a
yeah,
teenager off this stuff, but then actually going and tasting real good tequilas, and it makes a big difference.
yeah,
So the clears, like the whites I don't mind them at all.
yeah.
They're fun.
They're really good. Excuse me, Don. Oh, I was in when I was in college. I just remember the last time I had that bad tequila. You know what I mean? Don Julio was. Oh my God, man! I remember having would send out for dinner on Friday night. You know, cafeteria spaghetti. So I loaded up with that. Then it went right after that. We started chugging these tequila shots. Oh yeah,
Oh
the
my gosh,
popcorn
yeah.
bowl got full fast, man. It was horrible,
Hmm.
horrible, man.
Oh yeah,
But
I bet.
out here, there's a cool place, Log Steel, if I'm saying that right. Log Steel or Log? I think it's Log with the G. Log
Mhm.
Steel. They make a great gin. It's a whiskey barrel gin, and it's so. I've never been I don't know. I drink a gin and tonic every now and then. Depends on what I'm trying to do. And they have a great one. I'm floored. Me and my girl one night. This was a couple years ago. She brought it to me as a gift, and we killed the whole thing one night. It's just mixing it. It was insane.
Nice.
It was that good, and it wasn't
Mhm.
a hungover drunk
Mhm.
day. It was just, damn, this is good,
Mhm.
man. Man, what other kind of stuff you get into out there, man?
You know, we also have a distillery just right actually just like 2 miles down the road called Minden Mill Distillery, and they are newer in the market. They actually were bought by I don't know. Bill Foley owns the Las Vegas Golden
Yeah,
Knights, and when the property went up for sale, he came and he purchased it. So they actually started distilling again out here, and it's nice and easy. It's a real, I think it's a $40 bottle. It's nice and easy to drink,
yeah.
and it's not terrible at all.
Okay, okay.
So yeah, so it's easy. I mean, when I'm not drinking whiskey, I mean, right here at the base of the Sierra Nevadas, we got Lake Tahoe just about 30 minutes away from
Yeah.
us,
Okay.
and so there's plenty to do. Yeah, we got endless BLM land
Yeah.
out this way. We can ride, to the next state over if we want to on the side by side,
Oh.
as long as you got fuel. And there's nothing really stopping you. It's cool.
Oh man, so you're out there in man's country. I like that, man.
Mm-hmm.
I like that
Mm-hmm.
big time, man.
It's a beautiful place. Yeah.
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 Only thing everybody hear about that area is Vegas. So you know what I mean. You go out there and it's
Right. Yeah.
Vegas is fun for a minute, literally for a minute. Then you got to get out of there, man. Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
can last that long. Yeah.
Right? Exactly. Well, the last time I was there
that's
was
about 7 hours of us.
Oh, is it 7 hours from you guys? Okay, yeah.
Mhm.
Man, last time I was there was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago.
Oh, really?
That was at I was doing my final. Well, I haven't been on the mat. I mean, competition wise, since I was 24 was my last raw. So I stepped off. Do other stuff. Still did martial arts, but didn't compete anymore. Didn't doing competitions.
Mhm.
And I was like, feeling good. I got one more match in me. This old man, get me in there. And it was in Vegas. So I spent the whole week there with buddies because they were all competing, and I was the last guy to compete that Saturday. And so, trust me, everyone says, "How'd you do?" I said, "Well, it was a great party in Vegas. That's all I can tell you." He didn't beat the crap out of me, but it was, man, it was like he won that one good. He's like, "Oh my gosh," but it was a great time. As soon as I get off the mat, and my coach Patty, she's there. And she's like, she says, "What do you want to do now?" So anyway, as soon as we get off the mat, and I said, that was my last fight, whatever. And she's like, "Here is a shot of tequila." I'm like, here we go. So I downed 2 shots of tequila before I got undressed. I didn't even take my belt off, and we just went out and started partying hard, man. I don't want to do that anymore, man.
You should for that. No. It hurts now. It takes a long time to get back in the saddle.
Man, it does. And I'm not trying to give everybody props, but I tell you, cheers, those little cheer things. I got turned onto those maybe 6 months ago because I saw the commercial guy to stop the hangover, those little cheer tablets or whatever you take, those supplements.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did those, and it helped. Even though I wasn't trying to get drunk, I drank a little bit, and I said, "I'm gonna try them out." Woke up the next day feeling great, man. So yeah,
well, that's good to know.
Yeah, if you want to try those,
try it out.
Yeah, man.
I try to stay away from that point anymore, but I mean, we just celebrated Nevada's birthday last weekend, and it's a pretty big party, and so. With Halloween as well, we went pretty hard. It just wiped me out for the weekend, unfortunately. So anything, I'll try anything at this point if we get to there.
And I'm with you, man. I don't try to get to that level anymore. But every time when you have a good bourbon, guess what? 1 turns to 2, 2 turns to 3, 3 turns to 4. And next thing you know, you'll get up and go, "Oh crap, what did I do?"
No crap. Yeah. Yep. As soon as you stand up, that's when you're, "Oh shit, I'm not. I went too hard." Yeah.
Right, man. And I have buddies, man, because one of my buddies lives in Georgia, and this guy, he can party. This dude can party. A great dude. I just came back from there maybe 2 weeks ago, going to a NASCAR race, and man, what's crazy thing about NASCAR, you can bring your own liquor in the place. I was like, "Are you serious?" So we carry this cooler, and he's like 4 beers down, and I'm still nursing my one, Man, so you do much? You used to go to NASCAR a lot?
Yeah, we have Sonoma Raceway is just about 5 hours west of here.
Yeah.
So we go there every year, and we talk about going down to Vegas. Sonoma is pretty cool because it's the same kind of deal. You get to camp like just on outside the racetrack.
Yeah.
Like you're getting to watch it from the hill on this bluff. It's pretty cool. Vegas isn't quite like that because it's newer, so you have to actually walk to it. It's not as fun. I've heard. I don't know. But it's probably just as good of a party there, I'd assume.
Too much. Too much.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
It's
and nothing's cheap.
No, right, exactly, man. It was when the first one I went to was not Talladega. Shoot, it's in Tennessee. The one in Tennessee, whatever it is. The way everyone go around the state, whatever you call it, the racetrack, and they camp outside, do the whole thing. And one thing I realized, as you can tell, I talk to everybody. I love making friends and talking to everybody. And it was just a whole bunch of party, just getting to know everybody, walking to different campers, and everybody's, offering you this and offering you that. Some of the stuff they were offering, I was like, I can't do that, but I'll take a beer,
Of course, yeah.
But it's a cool, fun environment, man. Dude, that's good stuff.
It's a wild experience.
Yeah.
I went to the Winter Nationals when I was a lot younger, and I was well under 20 when I was in my late teens, I guess. So I didn't get to do the partying thing, and I think the Winter Nationals is a little bit different. But as soon as our friends started taking us to Sonoma, it was just like, this is my favorite weekend of the year almost. It's just so much fun,
Yeah,
but it hurts.
it hurts, man.
But it hurts. Yeah.
I know we sit there, we try to say that we're not, we're not old now, man, but trying to hang with the young guys in all areas, even the competitions, the training, and everything else. But we deserve it. We put in the time. We deserve a few,
That's right. That's right.
Dude, how long did it take you to grow that cool beard, man? You look like ZZ Top over there, man. I love it, dude.
This was probably 2 years, I think, of
Really?
growth, and I leave it here. Yeah, it doesn't get much better, but I took off a couple inches the last few months.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was about 2 years of growth.
Holy
English.
cow.
Yeah.
And there's no patching
Yeah.
when you start growing it, so you look like an awkward 12-year-old or anything like that.
No, it's better than I would have imagined. Before I started trying, I didn't have much hope in the beginning.
Yeah.
I just got got a little lazy, and then here we are.
That looks good, man.
10 years or something later.
You look chiseled, brother. You got it all nice and neat. Did your wife do that for you? Your wife did that, didn't she? She tell you trim it up.
Yeah, she likes it though. Yeah, she prefers it.
Yeah.
It's cool.
See, I see the new, I want to say the new, but it's the new one. In the last 15 years, everybody's got a beard. And, excuse me, I can grow a beard, but it's really white. And so I'm not ready to cross over there yet. So I shave every morning. I'm shaving. It's like, man, you don't want to show any grays. I sure don't, man. I'm covering those. I'm not doing any cover-ups. I'm shaving the crap of it, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'm not ready to cross over, man. Holy cow.
No, I hear you. I hear you.
People, like I said, people here my age, they like to say that I look younger than them. I'm like, you're just trying to be nice, but I'm like, all right, but hey, 39 is not bad though, right? Uh-huh.
No, it looked like a young 39
Yeah,
too.
I'm gonna hold on to that age.
Absolutely.
Yeah, my oldest
That's
is
funny.
29, so so yeah, brother, yeah.
It goes quick.
It does, my friend. You have kids at all?
I do. I got a 12 and a 14-year-old.
Oh, that fun age, man.
And those they're pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing. We'll see slideshow on got the screensaver on the TV and stuff, and just thinking about how fast those 14 years have gone. It's just crazy,
Yeah.
It's been a fun ride, and I wouldn't change it for the world. And I know, same thing with you. I hear you talk about it all the time.
Yeah, man. Kids. I look at my kids the same way, man. I'm like, how did they get so old? And these times you look at something. I did a video of pictures of growth on one of mine too, on one of my posts I did. It was a long time ago, and I'm telling you, I'm not an emotional kind of guy in that area. I tell you what, I cried and cried and cried. And I'm putting this video together myself, and I'm like,
yeah, oh, I know.
My babies,
Yeah,
2 girls.
I know, it's crazy. They're like this big, you just hang on to them. Now they're ridiculous.
Man, I remember those nursing days and those, taking the babies and doing this. Because I had some friends back then that would say, we're going to go out. And I'd be like, hey, going to go out. So I can't. I got to babysit my kids. I'm like, what do you mean babysit? These are your kids. You just got to take care of your kids. I used to like the phrase babysat. I was like, dude, you're not babysitting your kids. These are your kids, man. I used to love skipping party and just hanging with my girls, man. Oh, it was so much fun. Are you the fingernail type of dad too that did the fingernails and stuff, or?
We have.
Yeah.
My wife is really good at that part, so I just they do that thing all the time, and so I don't really need to. We've done. She used to braid my beard when she was little, and now she's old enough, doesn't care. But yeah.
Oh man, but I tell you, what you got to do. I'm gonna give you some fatherly advice here. Yes, here we go.
Yes, sir.
When your kids go off to college, make sure it's close enough that maybe an hour away, something like that. Try not to go too far. A place that you can just pop up on campus and just not to watch them, just to hang out on campus and do some things. Oh, you're here too? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I tell you,
I didn't know you went here. Yeah.
Right? Our kids were like 45 minutes away at college, and I'm telling you, was on that campus so much. And kids would walk around and see us in the mezzanine playing, tennis, not tennis, ping pong, playing pool. And they walk by and they were like, Dad, what are you doing here? I'm like, oh, I'm just, hanging out. What are you doing here? And they never got mad because they knew, I'm that guy. I would go on campus and take pictures of them without me knowing, and then send them to them,
That's cool.
They'd be like, Dad, did you stop it? I'm like, nope, I will never stop it,
Never going to stop. Yeah. You don't ever give up. And that's the hardest part is, they want they want the phase to be over.
Yeah.
And I remember being a kid and wanting that phase to be over.
Yeah.
And then now it's just a bunch of memories, and you're kind of always grasping for that and hoping for the same thing from your kids.
Yeah.
And it's just the time it passes whether you enjoy it or not. So I think that's one of the biggest things is take hold of it and love it.
You're absolutely right, man. If anybody could hear that right now, that's a nugget right there, man. That's a huge nugget. Because we were annoying to our parents. Our kids were annoying to us at sometimes. Whatever it is. But we're gonna miss these times, man. I miss them a lot. I do miss my girls a lot, man. I remember the little days, man. But as you can tell, I've done a lot of things. I got a lot of a lot of fun stories. At my age, and I'll tell you one. I don't know if you want to do this one at college. When I can't believe they're gonna kill me if they hear this. But anyway, so my daughter's going to go off to college, and they're 16 months apart, and so they're at the same college together, and so. The freshman year, my daughter's there, so she meets a boy. He's the football team. The whole thing. He's a giant he's like a Samoan looking dude. So yeah, exactly. And I was like, oh God. So my daughter's like, hey, you got to meet him. He's so great. And I'm like, okay. So we make a trip up there 45 minutes away on a Sunday, so we go up there and, he introduced himself to me, and I don't play games kind of thing with young guys. I just try to be honest. This is how it's going to be. I'm not the dad that's going to pretend like I'll choke you out and kill you if you hurt my daughter. I'm that guy who's going to kill you. And, But anyway, so I say to the guy, and now I'm in a good mood. He was a great kid. He was a nice kid and everything else. And so I said to him, he's doing the yes sirs and the no sirs and Mr. Jones. And in my head, I'm like, man, I used to do the same games when I was your age. Everything, Yeah, exactly, man. I'm like, this son of a bitch. And so I'm standing there with this cat. I'm like, listen. I say, hey, I just want to make sure, you take it easy. Are you looking at getting some protection? He's like, well, we haven't done that. I said, that's right. I know, but you're trying to get some protection, right? He says, I sure will, sir. And I stopped. I looked him square in his face. Well, I had to look up at him. I said, so you're trying to fuck my daughter, huh? I screamed, this guy, no, sir. And I'm like screaming at the top of my lungs, what the fuck's wrong with you?
That's perfect.
My oldest, she's sitting there, no, Dad, no. And my youngest one is cracking up. She's on the floor rolling. And I'm losing on this guy, funny. Man. I'm like, whatever you do to her, I'm going to do to you, you son of a... I'm losing. Oh my
boy,
God.
That would have been something to see.
It was, you should have seen everybody that messing, look around and stuff. But I did get a call from his mother. His mother called me, mom and dad. The mom called my daughter, and she gave me the phone, and the mom was like, well, I don't appreciate you threatening my son. And I said, well, listen, I never threatened anybody. I just told him exactly what I'm going to do if he touches my daughter the wrong way. And she's straight.
It wasn't a threat.
It wasn't a threat. It's just what's going to happen. So the dad's, you can hear the dad in the background. He's like, give me the phone. So he gets on the phone, and which was really cool because he says, listen, I don't appreciate the way you talk to my kid, but you know what? I get it. You got girls going to college. I got this monster over here. If I had daughters, I'd do the same thing. And it was a respect for a father. I was like, I can respect that, but I meant what I said. It was great. So
not taking it back.
That's right. So make sure you threaten your girl's boyfriend, yeah.
100%. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, luckily with her, she's 12, and
perfect.
That hasn't really started yet, but I know it's right around the corner.
Man.
So I just keep telling her no as long as I can. No, you're not allowed to date.
You're not allowed to date till you're 40.
Say that when you're in your 20s. Yeah.
Well, just clean your guns a lot around the house, when they come over, hang out,
That's exactly. Yep, that's all we do. Yep.
Keep a shovel and some lye right by the door. Hey, what's going on, man?
That's right.
Yo, man,
absolutely.
What's your favorite gun that you like to shoot? Let's jump into this, man, because guns. I love guns. You love guns. I don't know about you. What's your favorite gun?
I have had, since starting this target company, I've had an amazing opportunity to not only train with some of the baddest dudes on the planet, but also shoot some of the coolest guns.
Yeah.
A lot of this stuff is spec'd out well beyond the manufacturer's OE specifications. Yeah. And so what makes a cool gun is typically who's using it. I think we've got to shoot with some contractors that were contracting all over the country, and they ran a really big firm.
Yeah.
And so we went out to the range day with them, and they brought a big box trailer, and we brought up some of our targets for some R&D.
Yeah.
And they were out there for about, I think, 5 or 6 hours.
Wow.
And never stopped shooting.
Oh.
And they went through I would guess like probably close to, I mean, and I'm probably underestimating because it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Probably 20 to 30,000 rounds.
Wow.
In a day. And it was, when we got done and we were cleaning up, like the whole thing was just laden with casings. It was the unfortunate part is these guys, through their contract, were not allowed to promote any. They were sponsored by a target company.
Gotcha.
So they weren't allowed to promote our target.
Yeah.
So all this, we had this badass, like real, like really cool footage.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been like, our brand would have killed it.
Oh,
you know?
man.
But, hey, it was like a non-disclosure. We couldn't use any of it.
Oh.
But it was actually cool for performance tests, and you got to see. I mean, most people that I know that are even real avid shooters are never going to put 30,000 rounds on a target in their life.
No.
You know, and it was cool to see that the targets, and especially because they did not stop.
Yeah.
They were heating that steel up. I mean, it was wild to see what it was doing, and it was cool for us.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, I'm cutting off.
No, stay on it, brother. I like that.
What was cool is we got to shoot all their guns.
Yeah.
And so what they were, I had no idea, but the smoothest running, no recoil, dialed in distance. I mean, the rifles were fun, and then we start getting into a lot of the handguns, and so I really started off as a hardcore Glock guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really know why. Just because everybody's got a Glock.
Yeah.
It was easy to get a hold of, and I mean, I was fortunate enough to have friends. We've been shooting since we were in our teens, you know, and so so I was really dead set on Glocks for a while, and then a buddy of mine worked for SIG, and he introduced me to the 320.
Okay.
And for what it was worth, I mean, I still love shooting my 320.
Yeah.
Do I keep one in the chamber? No, not anymore. Not with the with all the ND stuff that's going on with them. I'm a little nervous. I carry appendix.
Okay. Yeah.
And so that's the last thing I want is an ND.
Yeah.
And appendix carry. So but I also have the 365, which is a really fun gun for the summer.
Okay. You got your summer gun,
comfortable.
my summer gun, and my winter gun. I love it.
You know how it is. I mean, you got here we got the Four Seasons big time.
Yeah.
You got swings from the negatives all the way up into the
that's true.
Low hundreds.
Yeah.
So if you're wearing just a really light T-shirt, you got to have something a little less. You're going to print.
That's true. Yep.
It really does depend.
Yeah.
But to your point, we had a while ago. There was this company that had a manufacturing plant just about 20 minutes down the road, and excuse me.
Yeah.
And we got to go to their facility because they bought a bunch of targets from us. And they had, I don't know if you've ever seen them, but they're like a 53-foot shipping container range. Have you ever seen those?
I don't think so.
Like it's like you go in the shipping container and you get to shoot down.
Yes, and have it all boxed in on the, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen those, yeah.
And so they had one of those. And so the company's OA Defense.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they actually have, so they had a facility out here, and then they had one back in, I think it was South Carolina.
Okay.
Anyways, so we got to go there, deliver the targets, and we got to shoot the OA Defense 2311.
Gotcha.
It is, they're Leo. They only sell law enforcement.
Oh wow.
So they're tough to get, but I got to shoot one, and it was my favorite gun ever, my favorite pistol I've ever shot.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it was bad.
Nice.
It was bad.
Real smooth.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, it was the tension on the trigger. I mean, it was reactive.
Yeah.
It was smooth running. We ran, I can't remember how many mags we put through the thing. No jams. We put fed it with different types of ammo, like from cheap stuff to good. No jams. It was slick. Yeah. And I want one really bad now.
Yeah, what's the price point on that thing?
They're a little pricey, but they're not terrible. Like for what they are, you're spending $500 to $700 for an entry level handgun anyway. You may as well spend a couple hundred more and get something that will run.
Yeah, so, exactly. Exactly. That's cool, man. That's good. See, man, shooting these new guns is. I'm like the guy. I like what you said when you first said that. When you first started that sentence, you said, it's a gun is the shooter. That's what makes the gun. How well someone shoots is the shooter. And I'm
Mhm.
that same at it. I'm the same mindset because I've seen so many guns out there, and I'm just a simple guy. I like to think that way. When it comes to guns, I like a Glock. I still have the fetish for a Glock because they're just bricks. You know what I mean? That
Mhm.
you
Sure.
smack them around, throw them around, they're still gonna fire. You know,
Hmm.
and I'm not a guy like I have a couple guns that are modded out just because, you know, but I don't personally like modding out guns at all. I just like it if you can pick up a good weapon and fire it and hit what you're trying to hit and run it through smooth. That makes a good shooter. In my humble but accurate opinion. No, in my my
Absolutely.
opinion, I like simplicity. Yeah, I have guns with scopes and all that stuff, and modified
Mhm.
triggers and all that stuff. But the ones I carry every day. For summertime, a little 380. I carry
Yeah.
everything appendix. Wintertime because it's more bulky. Is do a 43X, a little bit bigger gun, but not too bad.
Sure.
But I had a good conversation with the guy. We're going back and forth, and he's a revolver guy and
Ah.
I'm like, we're having a good conversation. I said, but how would you? I look at everything as if you're in a battle, what do you do? If you're fighting for your life,
Mhm.
what do you do? And his thing, well, I'm not an ammo whore. I'm like, hey, I get it, but I want more rounds, period. I want more rounds.
Capacity is
There it is.
huge.
There
Yeah.
it is. But he was stuck on
Hmm.
this revolver, And I said, listen, you do whatever you're going to do. But he's got the speed loader and everything else. And we did this whole thing. I said, well, let's go. Let's see how fast you can reload yours. We know blank mags, the whole thing. And so I said, all right, let's go. So he
Hmm.
loaded. I got a gun out in my hand. I'm ready. Oh, I'm out of ammo. I've dropped it. I'm ready. You got the first one in yet? You got the second one in yet? And he says, nah, a fight is never going to take that many rounds. And I said, well, hope not. But you never know, man. You never know. Now,
Right.
would you ever carry a revolver for conceal and carry for your carry gun?
I've
Oh, this is good.
I mean, you'd almost need, if you're gonna like just have like you're gonna carry something appendix and then something on your six. I don't know like what you would do, but it'd be something to get to. But I don't see the need for
Yeah.
it. I mean, if there's enough compact pistols out there that I mean, people like it though. I mean, and you see, I mean, some smaller counties, law enforcement, and they still will carry revolvers, and
Ugh.
it's just that doesn't seems weird to
Yeah.
me. I mean, you're gonna take 6 shots over 15, or and then then you could actually just rack in a new mag
Yeah.
and have 30 rounds over six.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah. I'm an ammo whore, man.
So no, to answer your question,
No, exactly. Shoot, down here in Somerset, we're in the Walmart. This was not even 3 days ago. I think we're 3 days in Walmart. And the guy's walking in. He's got the cowboy holster and everything. Got his revolver hanging low. And I just had to smile. Nice gun. But I'm thinking, dude, who would carry a revolver? I'm like, unless you pull out of your boot and you got a nice 9, whatever. But I don't know, man. A revolver.
yeah, it's pretty
They're
crazy.
cool guns. I like every gun.
It's fun
Yeah.
though. Yeah,
They're fun to
yeah,
fire off, make you feel like you
guns
were
are
back
fun.
in the cowboy days, when you can West Smith and
Right.
West and all that stuff. But
Uh-huh.
man, I got, I love a gun. I can just drop a mag and mag in and go back on rounds, man. That's
Hmm.
cool, man.
What does your what is your and I try to pick up on one of the shows when you had what was his name?
Oh,
Alex
Alex Cogan. Yeah. Yeah.
Kogan? Yeah. And that was a fun episode.
Yeah.
Real gun centric, I
Oh,
would say. That one he had a lot of cool shit to say.
yeah.
I really enjoyed that
Oh,
episode. That
thanks,
was a lot
man.
of fun.
Thanks.
Yeah. But we talking when you guys were talking about tactical at the very
Yeah.
end. It makes me laugh because that going back to your mod, you got all the the lights and the lasers and the optics and
Yeah.
all this shit on this thing, and it's all of a sudden this big.
Yeah.
It's on, it's on, but it's fun to have. If you can afford it, do make one of those
Do
and
it,
go out and
man.
just dick around with it.
I,
Yeah, yeah.
I think they're cool.
So many cool classes out there, and I know you're doing your due diligence and you preach that just as well, but. There's so many options and there's so many cool things that you could be out there doing
Mhm.
when you start getting into into firearms, and especially if you're carrying them.
Yeah.
That people really go out, and this is one of the truest things that's happening in Nevada, and it's
Yeah.
the scariest thing too. People are moving here in droves from California,
Yeah.
And they're going out and they're getting their CCWs
and no
they're
training.
putting the pistol in their safe and they're never using it again.
Wow. Wow.
And yeah, so and then you see these guys and maybe they are carrying, but they haven't even shot that thing.
What are they going to do?
Right? And it's a muscle memory. And you talk about all the time dry fire and you're going out and getting range time and all that stuff. You have to stay diligent in your training.
Have to.
It's not like riding a bike.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. And you hit that on the head. A lot of guys don't train. And I was surprised to find out that police officers are part of the worst shots out there in some areas.
I was going to say that.
I got two nephews that are in Chicago cops, and they go shooting. Man, it's like once a year to recertify whatever it is. And I'm like, have you taken it? This is your life. Man, if I had to go to the range for free and all this stuff, I'd be there every other day. That'd be in my regiment if that's my life. But man, it's crazy, man. Because man,
it's like an actor, or not. Let's start over. So these guys, they put in their 410s or their 312s or whatever they end up doing, right? And then the last thing they want to do is more cop shit. And then so they just go pack their shit up and they go home.
I can see that.
And the idea is I have this I don't know, and I don't know what to do with it, but it's this idea where you take a police force and you have to, the only way you're going to get those guys out there trying to get more time behind their firearms, and even if it's transitionary work from their pistol to their rifle, hand-to-hand combat, you have to be able to incorporate that into their work schedule.
Yes, I see
like
what you mean.
The military base in the prison, like having that option of going and working out while you're on duty, because that's the only way it's going to work. There's a lot of people that will go hit the gym after their shift, but you watch these guys. I mean, it's the same with like EMS or EMT. They put in these long ass days, and the last thing they want to do is go take care of themselves.
That's true.
But you have to figure out a way, and I don't know what that way is. Yeah. But to get these guys, I've always had this idea of like opening up some sort of a studio that actually has all the things that I think that our first responders are missing. Yeah. The wellness, mentally, right? The physical fitness, to getting out there in law enforcement and getting the training reps in. Yeah. And then on top of that, being able to, the stretching and all that, the stuff that they need to do their job effectively.
Right.
I don't know what that looks like, but it's just, it's a concept that I think that somebody with a shit ton of money should think about.
Do it, man. Well, you could do it.
You
get funding.
Contract with the PDs. Yeah.
Get some funding, man, because that's a great idea. That really, really is. Really is. Because a lot of these cops.
You put you got these guys on 12s, and you take 3 hours out of their day, and you take care of the guys that are out there. Taking care of the public.
And that's part of their job schedule. You work 12 hours. But you have to do this in that 12 hours. So they're getting paid for it and stuff, Excuse me. Yeah, that's brilliant, man. Because I know a lot of police officers, man, and just these guys don't train enough. But I do have one friend, this guy, Obi, man, he is Mr. Training. And you know what? I commend him for it. Because I've gone to, in Illinois, I used to go to Alpha Range, which is a very private range. No lanes. Just you go in there, you set it up yourself. And I've taken police officers with me, friends of mine, and they always say, "Are you going to shoot?" And I'm always like, "No, I'm not going to shoot today. I just got it so you can shoot. Let's see what you can do." And that's it. But this Obi, man, I expected him to do the exact same thing as these guys. He comes in, he's got the gloves, he's got the head, he got it all. He's loaded to the bear. And I just sitting there watching this guy, and he was on it. He was Johnny on it, man. Straight shot, knew how to move across the room, fire, knew how to enter the room. I'm like, okay, then. You just respect some police officer more with the shooting things.
Yeah. Well, and the thing with that is, how often, especially in that area, are these guys riding solo? I mean, they're definitely they're using partners, right? So if your partner doesn't know shit,
man,
you're just as, you may as well not know anything.
Exactly.
So these guys need to be training together to get in sync to figure out what the other guy is doing. And that's when I started doing the podcast, it was like the more people I would talk to, like pre-interview or out in the bar, like, oh, I got this podcast and I'm in law enforcement, and we start talking about it, and they haven't even fired their duty pistol in a year. So like you said, since the last time they qualified.
That's crazy.
It's like the first time you get into a fight, like, and like we have an instructor here that, he'll put you through the ringer. Yeah. Like, he'll get your heart rate up. You have to go run laps.
Oh, wow.
And you're going to be carrying kettlebells. They'll
What?
have you running while carrying kettlebells, right? So your arms are getting tired.
Yeah.
And then you come up to the table and they'll be like, all right, now go. Now run the drill.
Wow.
And you'll do it first with just sitting there with your gun on the table, pick up your gun, run the drill.
Yeah.
And then you go do it all over again. Now the second time you're gassed.
Yeah.
And you go do it. And you compare the results.
Oh, man.
And this is going to be the situations that law enforcement, and almost every single time that they have to draw their duty weapon, they're going to be in these high stress situations. And the problem is that there's, and I don't know how it is over on your way, but here we're cycling through and we're having such a hard time recruiting law enforcement as is.
Gotcha.
That you get these young guns that just want to come out and kick
That's
ass.
it. Yeah.
They have no idea about how to check their ego.
Yep.
They have no idea how to handle their stress and control the situation. So it's scary to think about.
It really is.
But that's being old and being so much wiser, not in the field. I don't know what that looks like.
Right.
But those drills that he runs are pretty cool. So the more people that I talk to, and like I said, just being in the industry and kind of, I'm not in the, I don't do training or anything like that, but being in the business and in the industry has favored us enough to go out and train with these guys and watch the different levels of these guys. Those contractor dudes were the business, right? And watching how they work, and they were out there actually training. And so watching these guys move and sync and be able to to trade covers and all these, it was neat to watch. But I don't think that they're doing that for law enforcement, as much as they shouldn't. Once a year is on. Yeah, it's crazy. It's like the standards in the military, right? And just all the stuff that's been going on recently about we're not going to have fat, whatever. I love
him, man.
We're not having fat, lazy. We're not going to have fat, lazy colonels and all this stuff that he's saying.
I love it.
But that is just as true in military as it should be in law enforcement.
Absolutely.
These guys their jobs are not easy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And the stress levels are not there. The suicide rates and all the things that come with these jobs, and it's so you need to focus on, and again, trying to promote these guys to go and do this stuff after hours is not going to happen.
Right. It's not going to happen.
They're going to go home and go to sleep, or whatever they're going to do. Maybe they'll get some gym time.
Maybe a lot of them do that. Yeah.
You see the cops. I mean, a lot of them are not going to the gym.
They're not going to the gym. They're not small guys. They're not running anybody down. You know what I mean? And that's. But like you said a few minutes ago, you have a partner. You got to be able to protect your partner. I remember seeing one video, and this lady, and this is an older one. They had the guy. They dragged the guy out of the car, and they had the guy on his face, handcuffed. One cop has his knee still on his back, and the lady is just holding him, just at gunpoint, while all the chaos is going off. And she fires her gun, and it went right past the guy's head on the ground. It hit the ground and ricocheted up, and she's, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean. I'm like, holy cow, man!
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, she could have shot her partner.
That's an unfortunate truth right there. I mean, and that's again playing to the point of these guys not being in the high stress situations like they need to be.
Yeah.
And then being able to come off that. So the moment that they draw their pistols, and like I said, I can't speak to this from a personal perspective, but just from what I see, and like I said, the difference that I was seeing in this training classes from these guys that were running this drill just up at the table versus coming to the table was a completely different deal. And to your point, getting yelled at, and and just making it even harder to get on target. But now that's not even real life. Right? There's no real recourse for doing a shitty job on a training exercise. But you put them in a real life situation, and now you got some trigger happy or like inexperienced officer that's supposed to be that's got your six. And she's throwing NDs all over the place. Man. It's like, what the fuck is actually happening here?
Right? It's man. I know. I want to say these are only a couple instances, but there's a plethora of videos out there, and you see these things, and it's just like, what are you guys doing? Once again, me not being a cop, I can only look from the outside in, and all the police officers I talk to, and the friends that I have, and hear their stories, and it's just it's scary. I wouldn't want to be a police officer. I couldn't do it, man.
It's getting worse. We had a friend that. He was in sales. Yeah. And he was 43 or something, 44 at the time, maybe a little bit younger. But he got tired of doing sales, and they were recruiting for a local county sheriff's office. And so he goes in and he goes to the academy and becomes a cop.
Okay.
at 40. I think he graduated at 40, 45 years old. And so he goes out and does this thing, and he gets in the situation where he's like, now he's 20 plus years behind the other cadets that came out of the academy, right? He hasn't studied any of the laws of the state.
Wow.
And so he goes to the academy, does his ride along. I don't know what they call it, but ride along with the other officer to make sure he gets his street time and all this. And he gets released. And he's like one of the best human beings on the planet. Like one of the most friendly dudes I've ever met. A great guy.
Yeah.
And he would have made a good cop in a really small town where there's very small chances of any incidents happening,
Mayberry.
right? But he gets placed in this town, and Mayberry would have been good. Like, hey, we just need to knock this shit off. I don't want you guys to get in trouble. I don't want you to lose your license. Like the old days when the cop would just escort you home, like make sure you get home safe, or you need to call someone, like that kind of stuff. But he does not work in that kind of county, and so on the other side of the hill, it's all industrial, and it's a meth. It's like the meth capital in Nevada.
Wow.
And there's always some nasty shit going on over there, and so he's having to get put into all these shitty situations, and he just didn't have the capacity to really strive in that field. Yeah. So he ended up going back to sales after I think a little over a year.
Wow.
And he's just like, it was too, like learning all that stuff and the stress of it. He's like, I'm going to go just back to my old
I'm going to go live.
Yeah.
Man.
He's so much happier. It was weird because you were watching like just the soul and stuff.
You're around that negativity all the time. It has to drain on you, man. It has to drain on you. It's crazy, man. Like I said,
and this is one of the better forces that we have in Nevada up there. It's one of the smaller counties, and so it should have been easy, but I can't imagine what our guys down in Clark County and the Vegas area,
man,
or up in Washington are having.
Man, and if they're starting out older, there's no way, man. That's a young man's game. It really is, man.
It is a young man's game,
man. I mean, could you just imagine being a police officer today? No one respects you really anymore. Everyone's mean to us. No, man. Either one or two things, I'd be shot or I'd have to shoot somebody, and I don't want any of that. You know what I mean? That's a crazy life.
Steer clear of that if you can.
Yeah. Because, as much as I play with guns, as much as I run around in my underwear doing my dry fire drills around the house. And yes, you train just getting out of bed. I don't know about you. Just pretend like you're getting out of bed, running around with your drawers on, looking for the bad guy. I wouldn't want to go into any dark room. I wouldn't want to go into any dark house first. I couldn't approach a car. In the middle of the night, you don't know who's in that car. After you ran the plate, you still don't know who's in there. These guys are brave as hell, man. I couldn't do it, brother. I could not do it.
We have a buddy that will show off his, and I'm not going to disclose who he is, but he'll let us watch his body cam footage of the race. Yeah. And he's one of the baddest cops, like your buddy you were talking about. But he's one of the baddest cops I've ever met. Yeah. He's got decades and decades of experience, and before the decades of experience in law enforcement, he was in the military, so the dude's seen some shit. So he's a badass. Yeah. But anyways, he'll watch him clear this house, clear these rooms, do these drug raids. I mean, it was intense, and not for me.
Yeah, that's not, no, I could not do it, man. Shit.
It's a special kind of
It does. Yeah. Man, I walk into a dark house that I know of. I'm like, all right, who's in here? Crap. Honey, you go in first. I'll cover you. I'll go look for some help.
That's right. I'll get the, I'm on the phone.
I'm on the phone. Go ahead. 9-1. Just wait. Man, but I've been fortunate enough, and I'm sure, like, I don't know, you say a lot of cops too, man, but there's some funny stuff that goes on. I remember I was coming out of my gym. This was, I had my gym. This was 5 years ago. And right at the corner, there's a stop sign. And around this busy 2-lane street just flying by. So I'm sitting at the stop sign, just waiting. And this car just cuts off this other car coming across, and it, bang, hits his car. His car rolls over the top of my hood of my truck. So I'm just sitting there. I barely moved, but he's sitting on the hood of my truck. And I'm like, the car. And I'm like, huh. So, cops come over and everything. My buddy shows up, once again, I'm not going to use his name because if it goes out, maybe his captain didn't know he did this or whatever. But so a whole bunch of guys show up in that town, a whole bunch of cops, they block up. Cops everywhere. And so I'm sitting there, and my buddy's like, dude, did you cause it? Joking around. I was like, no. He's like, hey, what are you shooting these days? I'm like, oh, I shoot this, that, and other, blah, blah. He says, come check this out. He takes me to the back of his squad car, got the hood open, all the traffic, everybody standing there. hood open, show me all his guns, you know? So I'm looking, I mean, like out the door, I'm like, this is awesome. This other cop walks around. He was like, hey, guy's name, hey, what are you doing? You know, oh, it's just Tony. And he was like, is he cleared? It's Tony. I'm just yeah, I'm sitting there watching. He's in the middle of all this, showing me all these guns, man. I'm like, nice.
Yeah.
Oh
And
man.
that's cool too. When they have the people that have the cool arsenals, it makes everything a little bit.
Oh yeah, man.
And one of the cool things, like I said, Nevada's pretty awesome because you're almost born with a gun in your hand.
Yeah.
Like you don't. The idea is to get comfortable early on. And
That's
so,
cool.
Growing up, my mom's family were avid hunters, and my dad, not so much, but he was, really interested in getting me familiar. He had a little revolver for me, a little 22.
Oh yeah.
And would just let me plink on that when I was little, 8, 7
Oh,
years
that's
old,
cool, man.
And then, yeah, it was fun. So it really made, growing up awesome because we just get to drive, like I said, out into the brush and just go shoot pretty much wherever. Yeah. And so it's getting familiar with them to not make them as scary. Like they are tools,
yes.
right?
Yes.
They're not these dangerous things unless you make
right.
them that
right.
way, and it's one of the biggest stereotypes. And it's getting increasingly hard to get past the liberal mindset of them being this, this menace to society. Yeah. because a bunch of assholes and psychos get a hold of them, and there's nothing you can do about that. I'm preaching to the choir here, but starting your kids on a gun early on. I mean, my son was shooting my AR when he was, I think I put him on it when he was 9.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
And just
nice.
He didn't like it. It was a little too much gun for him.
Well, I was 9 years old. But, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. So we ended up getting him a little AR-22, and he loved it. And he's outgrown it since. But yeah, I mean, you start him young, get him comfortable, and then the responsibilities that come with gun ownership. You start that young, not when you turn 18.
Right.
Or and you're able to go buy one. That's not when it starts.
Right. You're absolutely right, man. Because everyone's afraid. At that age, they're afraid of them. They hear all this bad crap from media and everything else, all this bad shit about them. And guess what? They're going to be afraid of it. It's oh, my God, there's that gun. It's going to hurt somebody. Gun's not going to do anything unless you do anything. I like what you said on that, man.
That's right. Yeah, just a tool.
Yeah. And, my girls the same when they were younger, they always wanted a pink gun, but I said, I'm never going to buy you a pink gun. This is a
You ever get that Tiffany blue?
Yeah, right. Oh, jeez. I had a friend of mine, I was training her for a while, and, not training, but letting her go shoot, showing her some things. And I was telling her which gun to pick and how you pick this gun, everything else, for your hand size. She's like, what color can I get it in? I'm like, black. That's it. Nice. Only black. Yeah, it's supposed to be hidden,
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I put some beads on it?
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, that's one of the things too. Like when you're talking about carrying appendix, and you got go invest in a nice Kydex holster.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
And they have all these amazing prints, and some of them just, especially like I said, with the summer temperatures here, and you're wearing lighter clothing, and have this really bright, flashy holster, and you're carrying a pen. It's the same kind of thing as having a pink pen. It's like you're going to see right through your shirt, and everyone's going to know.
Oh, I remember being out here in Tennessee one of the first times. This really big guy, he was walking down the street, and he was trying to conceal carry it. But he was really big, had a polo on, and his gun is sticking out like this. And you can just see I'm just like, hey, buddy, you're not doing a good job.
Yeah. Not concealing very well. Now, one of the things too, when I first started carrying, I think I was a lot more observant and self-conscious, and I think that over the years, it almost you get, I wouldn't say complacent. I don't want to use that word, but you get a little more comfortable carrying, right? And I think that you're always still looking to see somebody's printing.
Yes.
Like you get into a situation like a Costco or something like that where it's like, no gun zone, whatever, right? And you're like, I see you, dude. I see you.
I wonder who's on my side for the most part. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's more like a mindset thing, Yeah,
well, because you carry so long and so many years, you're trained for that. You're looking for the bad guy. Yeah. I'm always scoping for the bad guy. Yeah. So if I see a print, I'm like, okay, chances are he's a good guy. In essence, I'm not going to judge you, but just chances are he might be able to help in a fight. You know what I mean? But when I first started carrying, I used to carry at my 4 o'clock, and I used to be, but I always felt everybody can see it. If I reach up on here, grab this off the counter, everybody can see it. It's like I reach up for something, I'm pulling on my shirt, and adjusting, walk
Yeah,
around.
four's
Yeah.
tough. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, but I love appendix carry though. That's the funnest way to do it.
Yeah.
It's because I always thought that being in a fight, because I'm going to try to go hands on first, before I go to my weapon, just hands on with fighting. I don't want to have it go to that,
Sure.
because once that comes out, it's escalated past a point of no return, in my opinion. So you know what I mean.
No.
That's right, man. If you're ready to pull that, there's no play. I don't even. Only one time. I'll say twice. I ain't gonna say one. Twice. I had to draw. The other time I went for it, but I didn't. It was once
No.
I was doing a 5K. I was out there doing my thing, and I was just in my head. I had my headphones on and stuff. I had the ones that hang around this low so you can still hear everything. And so I'm just running, doing my thing. And this truck pulls up next to me and just squeals on the brake. Doors fly open. So when I got eyes on them, they're coming towards me, and I'm like, what? So I didn't. It wasn't obvious to them, but to me, I knew where my hands were. You know what I mean? I knew where my hands were going, everything else, and they were literally going to do this yard next to me. But they came really aggressive, but I didn't pull anything.
Yeah.
I just knew where it was, and I was just like, whew, that was tense for no reason.
Was that early on in your carrying?
Yeah. It
years?
was early on, and last year I drew down on a dog. I'm out here doing it once again, doing a 5K, doing my thing, and this huge dog just come out of nowhere, and he's just like coming at his owner's yelling at him like, "Fluffy, stop!" And Fluffy ain't listening.
Mhm.
Fluffy's running hard at me, and I'm just thinking, I stuck my arm out. Hopefully he'll latch onto that, but I will put him down. But I drew out, and the guy was just, "Don't shoot my dog, please don't shoot my dog." And the dog was on my hand, and I'm holding him back, but he's licking me and everything else. So I was like, okay, yeah. I'm like, man,
Can you imagine?
yeah.
Oh shit!
I shot Fluffy.
What, you? Oh, you get John Wick action after that,
Oh,
man.
right.
The recourse would be immense. Yeah.
But
Jeez.
trust me, he had the wrong
That's
name for this
crazy.
dog. It was looked like the size of a Great Dane. It was just big and loud and just scary. And I was just like, whew, man, I'm glad I didn't shoot Fluffy, man. That'd have been, but I've never had to go for it in any kind of, I've walked, I'm probably like you. At this age, you walk away from a lot of stuff. You just, hey, I'm not arguing with anybody. Yeah.
Smart enough now. And and I think one of the biggest things is, we get older and you start realizing that it's a lot simpler to just check your ego. You know what I mean? But if they're going to call you a bitch or a pussy when you walk away, but dude, that's better than being
exactly
dead, And I think that I watch, way too many times where guys that are really good at fighting, don't get me wrong, like they would kick the shit out of them. And we see videos of that all the time where these guys that thought they were just going to get into a fist fight end up getting put down because the guy drew on them and kills them. And that to me is not worth it, right? And it sucks because there's this, this, I don't know, it's in our own heads where we've got to be these big macho protectors, which we do. I'm not
but
saying
to
we
a
don't
point,
protect. But I'm saying if I can get my family out safely, that's what I'm going to do, right? I'm no good to them dead. And so I need to, try to remember that. There's a lot of times where I think that people could have saved their own lives if they just would have just shut the fuck up and walked away.
You can live another. These guys don't know you. They don't care they'll never see you again. You'll never see them again. Let them call you all kinds of names. I've been in situations and, being out, I like going to I love dive bars. My thing is dive bars. And, you too, huh? And by the way, I got another podcast coming out in 2 months, called, another one. I'll tell you all about it later. But,
okay.
But I love dive bars, and I love because the mindset of people, they're just, everyday people don't care. But I've run into a couple of things where the guys are, mouthing off or whatever. And I'm telling you, I'll buy you a drink in a heartbeat. I don't, and a lot of times that I've said, I won't say it happened a lot of times, but some of the times it's happened when I offer to buy him a drink, it de-escalates everything. And then, oh man, I'm sorry. I'm just having a bad day. I'm sorry I got off work or whatever, And I'm like, hey, no problem, man, because I don't want to fight. I always go into places assuming I'm the weakest guy there, and the next guy is the baddest guy on the planet, because you never know. I don't want to fight this guy. I'm going home. You can call me a pussy or whatever you want to do. I'm going home tonight.
Right. Yeah, it sucks because you want to be ready for a situation that when you can't get the guy to back down. you need to be ready for that, right? Because sometimes walking away, we had a buddy that was at a bar and he was trying to de-escalate these other two dudes that were going at it. And then the one guy took it the wrong way. He was jumping in, kicked, almost fucking killed him, right?
God.
He was on the ground, he's stomping his head. And all he's trying to do is like, I'll get you guys a drink. Man, he's trying to be like, a bro to these dudes and kick them and knock it off. And they almost killed
Oh my God,
instead,
man.
So it's like I find myself in that situation a lot where I'm like, you dudes don't need to be doing this here. Like we're all having a great time, especially when you get these smaller bars. Like, what are we fucking doing?
We're here just having a good time. What are we fighting for?
We're having fun.
Yeah.
What the hell's the point of this, right? Let's have a drink about it. Usually that will work, but sometimes they don't check. They walk in there looking for something, and you see that crazy look in their eyes.
You can recognize.
It's like you're not going to win this.
Oh yeah, and I ignored it and I move on. I'm not trying to break anybody up unless it's obvious crap. I'm not going to break anybody up. I don't want to be involved. Last time I did this was years ago. I lived in Davenport, Iowa. But it was like I lived in this place like above this dental office. It was years and years ago. And I'm looking out the windows next to this biker bar, and I see these guys just kicking the shit out of this guy. I mean, the guy was drunk, too. I see him on the ground just getting his ass kicked. And I'm like, man, let me get out there. So by the time I got out there, he's just like, out of his mind. The guys are gone. They ran off, whatever. So, I'm like, dude, you okay? And I'm talking to the guy. I said, let me call the cops or whatever. So by then, somebody else called the cops. And I was just sitting with the guy. Hey, just lay down, man. Don't worry about it. Just wait here. The cops are coming. The police come. And they're talking, hey, what happened? What happened? I said, some guys jumped him and everything. And the guy looks like, he was one of them. I'm like, whoa. No. I'm like, dude, I live right here, man. I got my house shoes on. I'm like, dude. Oh, man. It was crazy, man. It took all my info down. I'm like, hey, it's cool, man. I said, check me out.
Holy shit.
I'm upstairs just chilling, man. I watch your boy get beat. But he was drunk. He didn't know these guys just beat his ass. And he's like looking for the first face. He's like, he was one of them. All right. Not gonna help anymore.
You're on your own, man.
I know, man. I'm gonna stomp him one more, kick him in the head, and walk back there.
He earned it,
right, man?
Yeah, that's crazy,
man. Now, do you smoke cigars at all?
Oh, cigars. I was actually hoping that I was gonna be able to do this outside. It's just windy enough that I thought I was gonna mess up the audio quality.
Oh yeah.
I was hoping to have a cigar. Yeah. Since it's Friday. I mean, one of my favorite days. I mean, I'll smoke one any day, but Fridays are really good. Good days for cigars.
Yeah.
Maybe after we're done here, I'll go jam out there.
There you go. What's your favorite cigar? You like a sweet, bitter, or just a stagnant one? I call them.
I'm a huge full body. I mean, the heavier, the more robust, the better.
Oh yeah.
I like the Maduro, the Diesel. I'm still like on this voyage to find like the My Father is probably one of my favorites. I'm still like I got like five brands, 5 sticks that I really go to all the time. But I love to mix it up and try new things because just like whiskey, there's so much good stuff out there that I'm missing.
Yeah.
What's your favorite stick?
You know what? Don't laugh at me either when I say this. I like a simple acid. It's acid brand. I love the Cuba. I know.
Yeah. That's where I started.
I love them. I've been smoking them for a while. But I like I said, when we go to that, whenever I'm back in Chicago, we go to that cigar joint, and we go through it. We just pick a new one all the time. And I love cigars. But that is just Cuba's one. And I tell you how I felt like a nerd one day. It was my buddy. I always said I'd go to this for his birthday. So I'm like, let me get him a cigar. So I go into this, I'm driving there, and I'm like, I go to this shop in this little cigar shop. And I'm like, hey, you got an acid brand? The guy's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay. I said, you got any Cubas? He says, yeah. I was like, okay. So I'm like, what is this problem? So I go in and got a couple of them, put them in a bag, and he says, what are these for? And my mindset is, what do you mean, what are they for? This for me to smoke. And he's like, no, are they just for you or for somebody? I said, well, it's for a buddy of mine. I'm getting it for his birthday. And the guy looks at me, he says, you are not a good friend. I said, what? I'm like, what? I'm like, what?
That's funny.
A really old dude too, man.
It's like, son of a bitch of a friend. Yeah.
I was like, well, what should I get him? He pulled this real nice, same price as the Cuba. And I'm like, He's like, this is what your buddy likes. I told him what he likes, cigars, he likes bourbon. This way, like, this guy's like one of those old crotchety guys, man. I'm like, I will listen to this man, but I took the Cuba too, just to give it to my buddy too.
Of course, yeah, yeah. When I first started, trying to get into cigars, and that was fun because of vanilla wrappers. I mean,
Yeah,
they're easy
yeah,
smoke, and then I think the Cuba Cubas, the burn on those they burned well,
yeah.
and then the duration was
Very
right
good.
about right.
Right.
Now for me, yeah, for now I'm like, it's a Friday or Saturday, and I get done with yard work or
Yeah.
whatever. I want like an hour and a half burn, and so that's right now like it's a 6x60
Oh
now,
yeah.
and just a real
Yeah.
buzz, and I'll sit there for a while.
Okay, cool, man. I'll check some of those out, man. I don't know, I just like everything. There's not one but like just like Woodford
Sure,
Reserve, I know what I like. I'll go with it, but I'll try everything else. You find other things you like.
sure.
Like got into the Blantons. We were talking
Hmm.
about that. The Blantons when everything was going crazy. But a friend of mine, when you couldn't find him anywhere, he's a pilot, and he was for United, and so he found it in Japan and brought me a bottle back. So I'm like, oh, okay,
Oh,
same
cool.
thing, just a change,
Hmm.
Japanese, whatever, not Japan. Yeah, it was Japan, Japanese label on it. I was like, okay, all right,
Oh,
Uh,
cool. That's neat.
yeah. They haven't cracked it open
Yeah.
because it's like, this is neat, man. But I'm gonna tell you something I've done
Yeah.
that's I think it's blasphemy. I've done it and I admit to it. Uh, when I decided to do this move, and I had a collection like yours, all these things, and I said, well, you know what? I'm doing this move now. I'm trying to change over my life. I'm getting rid of everything, get rid of everything in the house. I'm going down to bare bones because we're going to try to do this travel thing together. Now,
Hmm.
I got rid of a majority of my bourbon, man. Just, gave it to my buddies, the expensive bottles, gave my buddies, gave some to my sister because she was trying to build her bar up. She was new into, bourbons and whiskey. So I got her all the stuff. And I just kept, simple makers. I got my Woodford Reserve. Those are the only ones I have left. So don't curse me out. Don't call me a
Oh,
wimp.
what a good friend now.
Yeah. Oh,
Jeez.
man.
I'm still waiting for my package, Tony.
You
Yeah.
didn't get it? Damn mail.
It's in the mail.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Government
That's what
shutdown,
it
right?
is. I'm going to use that for everything now. Government
Hmm.
shutdown, man.
That's it.
Oh
Yeah.
man, but I got rid of so much stuff, man. And I was
Yeah.
looking for something to drink. This was maybe a month ago. And I said, I could use a good bottle. And I was just like, I got no good bottles. They're all
Mhm.
gone. Yeah, what are you gonna do? I
Yeah.
feel sad. I'm gonna cry later now again.
Well, it makes travel a little lighter. It makes if you guys are doing the pick up and move thing. I mean that's a lot of shit to pack around,
Yeah,
and it's all
yeah.
tough to packaging it and making sure the bottles don't break. I mean you helped your buddies out, and I think that
That's the most
go
important thing.
make sure you go back and visit
Yeah.
them, drink it with them.
I gave so much stuff to one of my buddies that he says, now I have a whole room in my house just for you. It's all your stuff and your stuff. I'm like, all right, coming over there with my
That's
feet up
perfect.
on the recliner and give me a cigar, man. I gave him a nice
Yep.
humidor, man, that
Yep.
had like 250 cigars could go in it, man. I don't know. I was going through a phase, just clear the
Yeah.
house. Now, now I'm missing.
Yeah, my wife always busts my balls because that's what I do too. I get into something and I go all in. Like we need all the anything that's about whatever the
Yeah,
thing is. I need
you
it.
need it all.
And then it's like a couple months later, and I'm like, that wasn't my fault. Like, moving on.
I'm done with it now.
Fortunately, bourbon and cigars have stuck around, so we're
Yeah,
we're doing okay with that.
yeah,
But now, like with the podcasting thing, and I mean, the the idea of hosting the show and then the equipment that you
yeah.
need and the subscriptions that you have to have and the editing software and all the stuff that comes with it. I didn't realize what I was really signing up
Neither did I.
for.
Yeah,
Because it's funny because I don't, and you could vouch for me on this one, but you talk to a lot of people and they're like, oh, we were talking about, I always talk about starting
yeah,
podcasts and like, dude, do it because it's an eye-opening,
yeah.
freaking life-changing event. The amount of stuff that you have to do to get this thing, the amount of time and
Man,
effort you spend to get the thing
yeah,
done, posting the shorts and all that, the promotion, all
yeah.
that. It's a full-time fucking
Yeah.
job,
Yeah, it really is, man.
It's
You know,
crazy.
jumping in there and you think that it's just going to be a microphone and me talking. That's it. I'm cool. I
Hmm.
can do it. And like you said, getting all this stuff. And I went through so many microphones, so many setups, so
Hmm.
many things. It's just like, holy cow. And I got friends, like you said, I should do a podcast. I was telling me, yeah, do it, man. Do it so you can know why I cry at night. No,
Find my old
yeah,
shit.
literally. Because you go through all this stuff, you try to do
Yeah.
it the cheap way first, right?
Oh my.
So you find out the cheap way ain't gonna cut it, man. It's like, oh my
Right.
gosh, man. But when I started this thing, just like you said, you had a dream. I don't want to sound like I'm preaching, but a dream and just something to put out there. And when I first started mine, I was gonna be, it was gonna be me talking about my journey of life, being out there because I love to travel. So I started doing all this traveling. I was gonna talk about it. And then I started realizing nobody wants to hear about me. Just all
Yeah.
day about me. Because there's cooler people out there doing cool shit, man. Your Bourbon and Ballistics. Think about this. Your stuff right there is what you do, and it's a man's podcast. Because I find that men are looking for stuff to do. Think about it. We need the teamwork. We need the camaraderie. We need the brotherhood. Some things that, our women in our lives can't provide for us. Guys who we can get together, drop our shields, because we're out there fighting the world, drop our shields and just talk and hang out and just relax together, man. Nothing beats that, man. Nothing beats that.
But that's not to say that those solo episodes that you do, because when I've listened to them, and I think that it's funny because, I think, like, I personally don't like to hear
Yeah.
myself talk. I mean, my wife she'll, she's going to think I'm lying, but, it's the idea is I don't think my story's that interesting. And so I love the fact that I get to lean on other people.
Absolutely.
And that just might be like a mechanism that I'm working with, with trying to, get other people to tell a story. But like the people that I'm bringing on the show, especially the veterans and
I
stuff.
love that
you
about
start
your
really,
stuff, man. The vet,
when
man.
you break them out of that tight shell that they're in, and they start actually kind of get to decompress, and the stories that, like the one I did last night, like I said, having these two Marines on the show, and they actually, it was like one of the few times, like I've had a lot of law enforcement on. We get to talk about shootouts and stuff, like bad guy things. But this one, we got to get into like actual like warfare.
Wow.
Like this guy watching his whole platoon get fucking blown away.
I gotta
like,
listen to that one, man. Holy cow.
Man, yeah. It was wild. And I've had him on the show before, and he never talked about that stuff. But he brings in his friend, this other Marine, and she's like, no, you need to tell him what you really did over there.
Wow.
And because she works for a bunch of veteran nonprofits, so she really understands how to get these guys to open up and talk about what the fuck's happening. So it was a completely different episode. But it was a lot of fun. Like a lot of shit talking on the other branches and stuff like that. It was really funny. But it's not 2 hours and a lot of cool stories. But I mean, you don't necessarily see, because I had no idea that he saw that kind of shit.
Well, you never know till they tell you.
I've hung out with the guy for years.
Wow.
It's been crazy. So that last night was wild to have him start opening up about what he actually saw while he was over there.
I gotta listen to that one, man. When you put that one out, I gotta drop that one, man. That's what I'm talking about. You're bringing those stories. I'm the same way about, I can hear myself talk all day, but it's the same shit I do. The same shit, no one wants to hear it over and over again. And there's so many more interesting stories and lives out there, man. Think about this. We would have never met. Think about the people you meet out there, man. We would never met I'm not in your area. You're not in my area. But the internet and these podcasts, I think it brings everybody together, man. And you get to hear some great, great stories, man. And some of the guys I listen to, thinking, well, my life doesn't suck. Listen to yours. No.
Well, it's funny because when I started listening to you because you have my buddy Jeremy.
That man,
he's one of the most decent and best human beings on the planet, and I absolutely love him. He's, him and his wife are both super charitable.
Very nice.
He's one of those things that's gonna call you. He's gonna do the buddy chickens on all his friends. And he's like, I love you guys.
That's awesome.
He helps break that tough outer shell that we've been told that we need to have, right? And it's just like you're saying, have that moment to sit down and just drop the shield and actually get, and just be dudes,
Yeah. And it's valuable, so invaluable, man. People don't realize that, man. But you think about this too. Until you're, I don't know, if let's being men, like you said, we're told not to do certain things. We can't cry. We can't do all these things. But we all need that teamwork. You know what I mean? I know things you said, things we've said, things other people say. We need that bond that no one else will understand. Women don't understand it. Children don't understand it. But men understand it. We need that, if they're out there doing something in their life or not. But men need it, man. Big time. Big time. I remember
Yeah, I think that everybody's so like thinking that they're so self-sufficient, which I mean, that's the idea,
Yeah.
right? You move out of your parents' house, you're supposed to be self-sufficient, you're supposed to go do this stuff, but then we get so accustomed to hearing that, men are supposed to be out there doing this shit by themselves,
Yeah.
they're supposed to be protectors,
Yeah.
and you're out there just it's like life is just this like uphill
Yeah.
climb, and we lose so many people
Yeah.
that way, and it's it's more a matter of being able to walk through that and open up and tell those stories, like what is actually going on. Like I don't know anybody now, as many of those episodes that I've
Yeah.
had, when you start talking to them, that aren't suffering, and this is law enforcement, this
Yeah.
is veterans, this is just regular dudes and women. I mean, everybody's fucked
Yeah.
up.
At some
Everybody's
level,
got some
yes.
fucking baggage. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's you have to have those conversations,
Yeah.
because if you're not doing it, you're bottling that shit in, self-destructive, and
Ain't
everybody
good.
you're going to implode,
Yep.
and everybody around you is going to get the shot.
Yep, exactly. Because you can't hold that stuff in, man. If you had no place you can just talk people you can talk to. Like when I was going through a divorce 5 years ago, I was sucking it into myself until I had one buddy was like,
Yeah.
"Man, you okay?" And that's
Mhm.
probably one of the first times I ever just let it all out to another person, just talk to him and stuff, and realize he says, "Listen, man, I got divorced, and this is everything you're going through. I went through it too, man." And I was like floored by it. I was like, "Dude, every time
Mhm.
I saw you, you were smiling and skipping and joking around." He says, "That's what we have to do as men. We have to hold it." I'm like, "Oh, man," but man, having fellas in your life,
I
man.
do feel Robin Williams, right?
Uh,
He's one of the greatest examples. I mean, that guy was the happiest, smiliest dude, but suffering and broken and destroyed inside,
Man.
right? And it got the best
Yeah.
of him because he put on that persona, and he really needed to be that smile, that face in the room that everybody needs, the support that people are looking
Yeah.
for. And then nobody thought about what was actually happening inside, where he was
Yeah.
at, in his own mind,
Yeah.
And so, yeah, ask those questions. It's okay not to be okay. And I think that's, the more I get into this journey of podcasting, I mean, it's, you've had, I mean, you touched on the same thing. That's why I was so drawn. I was so excited when you asked me to come on
Oh,
your show,
thanks, man. That's
because
cool.
I feel like we're in the same,
Yeah.
like the same headspace, like the same
Yeah.
mindset, right? I mean, the disciplines are almost parallel, and then the ideas are the same.
Yeah.
So I was like, dude, this is going to be an easy one to
Oh
do,
yeah,
for
man.
sure.
That's what I say. We're just talking. I know when we were talking about doing it, I'm thinking,
Yeah.
is he coming on mine or am I going on his? And I was like, we're just gonna talk. We're just gonna talk,
That's
man.
it. Yeah.
No agenda.
This is just a Zoom
Yeah,
call.
that's what it is, man. I think those are the best those are the best ones without any notes. And who is this guy? I had a guy on here. I guess the guy earlier today. I did. He's an actor and everything else, and man, I write notes on everybody. I'm like, okay, I got this, I got that, I got this, and like with you, I don't know, looking down at him. I didn't take anything. We're just having great conversation, and I love that. This guy was probably the funniest guy, most happiest guy, and I need you to say, no homo, the most gorgeous guy I've ever seen, just chiseled, flexing. I was like, dude, you have got to stop hanging around other guys, man. You're making us all look bad, man.
Better looking than you,
Come
though.
on, can you believe it?
Dude, that's crazy. That's crazy. I don't believe it.
Crazy talk. But he's just a great dude, and some stories he had, I was just like, wow. And I love those kind of conversations, man. But listen to us, we're in our box now, the men.
Yep,
Man.
that's it.
But man, who you winking at over there? It was your girl, wasn't it?
It's my wife. Yeah. She just gave me a look.
Yeah.
It's like, how much whiskey do you drink? We're getting close. Yeah.
All of it. Wait a minute.
Getting started.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Oh man, look at there. Man, it's good stuff, man. But this
is good stuff.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, man.
I'm going to tell you why we're talking about the whiskey, because this was probably, so like I said, I really try to hone in and find the bottle that matches the conversation I'm hoping to have, right? And so when I started doing the research and trying to find Dustin Poirier's rare stash, it's not in Nevada. Like nobody here distributes.
Really? Okay.
So I started looking in California, and I'm like, I can go over to the Bay Area, and they didn't have it in stock, but they sell it there. And that's like 5-hour drive. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna drive 5 hours for a bottle of whiskey for this guy. But I'm like, for Tony, I'm gonna try to make it happen.
You're awesome,
so what I ended up, I got lucky, and we went down and visited my wife's family. It's a 5-hour drive down into California, and her cousin's girlfriend was actually driving another hour down for work, and she went to the store that actually had it. So this bottle came from 6 hours plus away.
Wow,
And
dude.
then I got to ship it all the way across the country over to you.
Oh,
So it was a
man.
fun one
I'm
to
feeling
get
kind
all
of privileged, man. That's awesome, man.
I think you should.
Thanks, brother.
That's the first time I've done that.
All right.
It opened up a door to set the stage for sure.
Man, holy cow. Now, how do we match that, man? Wait a minute. Cheers to you again, my brother.
Yes, sir.
And the funny thing about this is, I stopped because we're going to visit my friend's family next week in Texas.
Okay.
So I said, I stopped drinking. It was like 3 weeks ago. So I'm not going to drink anything. I got to keep, putting water. Not like I was drinking every day, but going out hanging with some people I met and just going out places. And I said, I'm not going to drink until we get to Texas because I know they're big drinkers. So I was like, well, I'll just drink a little bit with them and get some wine. I can't call them big drinkers. Hope they don't listen to this. But they're great people and they drink very little.
No alcohol.
None at all. Just water. And so I said, I'm going to be ready for them. And then when we were talking about yours coming on, we're getting set up for it. And I was like, got a drink. Because, he's the bourbon guy. I'm sitting there, got a drink. And she's like, because I'm all about goals. And she said, but you said you weren't. And I was like, you're absolutely right. I won't do it. Guess what I did? I did it.
He did it well.
Right. Good stuff, man. Did he ever come up with that bomb for it? The Patriot Beard bomb and all that?
So the Patriot Beard line is, if I'm not mistaken, is a buddy of his, and I think it's still around. I don't know. I don't really. Yeah, I think he's just an ambassador for that. But he's Jeremy is one of those dudes that between him and his wife, they have their hands in every charitable organization.
Yeah, I found that out about him. Yeah,
locally, nationally, and they do. Jeremy didn't serve. And I think that, he's one of those guys that has like the buyer's remorse of never going into the service, and so now he's making up for it in everything that he does. And his wife, he's blessed with a wife that's just as charitable as he is. And they go out and they do, their kids are their youngest is graduating this year. So like they're in a different space where they're starting to get more time. And then all this free time that they have, they're utilizing it to go out and help, help the veterans, help the community, and all this stuff. They're doing really big things. It's
man. Praise God for guys like that, man. The stuff that he's in, we talked about a little bit on the podcast. Yeah. You heard that podcast, and the stuff he's doing. He just has a generous heart, and I love that, man. I love guys that do stuff like that, and he's one of the rare ones, man. You run into a lot of guys that's on the other spectrum. Yes. And he's one of the rare ones, man. That's why you guys are good friends, man. Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of my best buddies. Yeah.
That's good stuff. Well, brother, I tell you what, man.
He's a good one to have in your corner.
Oh, man. Once again, like we were saying earlier, you have a few good guys in your corner. You know when the shit hits the fan, who to look to. You're all good, man.
Yes, sir.
You're all good, man. Well, good stuff, brother. Well, hey, you know what? We're almost 2 hours on this thing, and this is amazing, brother. I don't know if it's the liquor or the conversation. I'm going to say it's the conversation.
I agree.
Well, man, you know what? Tell everyone how they can find you. So how do everybody reach you? What's all your specs, your social media, the whole thing, man?
Yeah, the podcast is all at Bourbon and Ballistics, all of it. So it's easy on all the platforms. Yeah. And First Line Ballistics is firstlineballistics.com. You can also find them on all the social medias at First Line Ballistics. Okay. That's all the cool stuff that, you can go check it out. And like I said, the hardest part is with this podcasting stuff is, people forget how easy it is to like, share, and subscribe. Yeah. I mean, it's not doing you a whole lot of, creating a whole lot of hardship to go out there and give your friends and a little bit of love.
Right.
So, and I'm sure the same way it is. You just get out there, even if you don't watch the videos. I mean, I know sometimes it hurts the algorithm, but if the subs help, and so just you don't have to watch any of the stuff. But Tony, like I said, for you as well. I mean, I hope that everybody that's watching this, they're out there, doing everything they can to help you succeed.
Oh, man. I appreciate it, man. Hey, if we stand together, we'll all succeed together, right? Let's stay committed together, man. Sir. Big time. And let's do some more of these things. I
love that, Tony.
All right, brother. Well, hey, man, we will talk soon. I appreciate you more than you know, man. We'll do number 2 soon, hopefully. And, I'm just going to tell you, next time I'll give you a price range to spend on me, maybe $400 or $500 bottle.
You got it, bud. You got it.
All right, Joel, you're awesome, brother. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, good.
All
We'll
right,
talk to you
take care, my
later.
brother.